Hey guys, welcome back to Sports Bar. We are talking about La Liga today, and since today is the final day of that is match day 30th of La Liga season, and we have two contenders for the title. It's Real Madrid and it's Atletico Madrid. So no matter who wins, it's going to be the city of Madrid that is going to rejoice. And first, we'll talk about Atletico Madrid first. And since Atletico Madrid are at the winning position, that is, they are at the first position, they have more chances to win this trophy and as compared to Real Madrid, of course. So if Atletico fails to win this game, then the trophy is going to Real Madrid. So it's complicated, but I think Atletico Madrid will start as favorites, and Valladolid, of course, they are at 17th or 18th position, so they are almost relegated. Even if they win, they might only have to rely at the other teams to qualify. So more chances for Atletico Madrid, and of course, we'll talk about Real Madrid later. But what do you think about Atletico Madrid right now?
See, even though you're talking about Atletico Madrid are favorites currently, but they still have to win their game. Even though a draw would not be sufficient for them to win the title because La Liga has head-to-head record. So yeah, even though you're saying yeah they're favorites, they have 2 point gap over them over Real Madrid, but I still think it's a close call and anything can happen over here. I'm still not sure whether Atletico are favorites, but yeah, it's against Valladolid again. They should comfortably win it. They should have grabbed this La Liga title even before we
Hmm.
should. It shouldn't have come to this point that they have to win their last game to win the La Liga title. They should have would have draw would have probably won it 2 or 3 games prior to this one. But yeah, still credit to them that they still are in the title race. And credit goes to Real Madrid as well. They have fought back. There was I think so 10 to 12 point gap between themselves and Atletico Madrid when we went somewhere around January and Feb.
Exactly. And Real Madrid had to battle injuries as well, as many as
Yes.
50 to 60 injuries this season. Even with such injuries, they have made it to the final day. So
Mm.
credit goes to them as well.
So yeah, Atletico Madrid. Opponent wise, if you look, Atletico Madrid will play Valladolid. Real Madrid would play Villarreal. Opponent wise, I would say Atletico are still favorite. But yeah, it's a game. Anything can happen. And plus, Valladolid player have that what you can say is a kind of a bonus that is awaiting for them if they manage to get a draw or manage to defeat Atletico Madrid. Ronaldo Nazario, not Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo R9 of Brazil,
Real
has
Ronaldo.
he has Ronaldo, he has declared that if Valladolid players somehow manage to draw or defeat Atletico, they would get a huge what you can say 150k dollars I guess it is for each and every player. So yeah, they have something to fight on for, and as you said, relegation battle as well. So again, they would not want to go down, and even though Premier Division is up for the grabs, means La Liga first division is up for the grabs. They still have that money, so yeah, anything can happen.
Exactly. And since Valladolid are playing at home, they might also make sure they have that advantage. And like you said, money is always a motivation.
Mm.
So apart from this, if I talk about Atletico Madrid on paper, of course, they are very strong as a team.
Mm.
But like you said, this shouldn't have come to this point that they have to win the final game in order to win the trophy. They should have won this like 2 or 3 weeks back. But it is what it is. It has come to this point, and we'll talk about previous game.
Mm.
Atletico Madrid were losing 1-0 to Osasuna. They got that 5-minute break. Of course, we are not here to complain that why did they get 5 minutes? They should not have got. That is another thing. But they got those 5 minutes extra, and in those 5 minutes they discussed, and Luis Suarez helped them score two goals,
Mm.
like one goal, and the other one was scored by someone else. So they scored, they won 2-1. So credit goes to them. They were fighting till the end. So they will take that momentum with them to this particular game. And it might not be as easy as we thought, but on paper they are really really ahead.
This shows their mentality as well. Even though after losing so many games and losing the cushion they had over Real Madrid, they did not, they were not disappointed much to see that they said, yeah, we can have some bad games. It can happen to anyone. You can have a bad month, and suddenly the you are
Hmm.
falling. Your season is going all well. But they fight from it, and this certainly showed their the warrior mentality that we say that
Hmm.
Diego Simeone has, and that certainly Suarez had that kind of mentality, but that what you can say the manager also transferred some of their qualities and quirks abilities onto their players. So yeah, that warrior mentality that Simeone had was certainly transferred into their place, and they fight off to win 2-1.
Exactly. Even though this happens when you have a 38 league game,
Mm.
38 match league, you have ups and downs. You might win a
Mm.
few games and then suddenly you lose a few games and then you find yourself struggling to, get momentum. But then since you have so many games, you have a lot of time to think. You have that, that point where
Mm.
you can experiment yourself maybe against the teams that are struggling to make it to the league. So you can experiment against such teams. Maybe when you're playing against big teams, you might not be able to experiment, but you can see how your best 11 plays. So you have that thing when you're playing a 38 match league, and Atletico made sure they played in a correct way.
Mm.
They might actually go on to win today, but now we'll talk about Real Madrid. Real
Okay.
Madrid has to play against
Mm.
Villarreal, and Villarreal not an easy opponent, of course. They're playing in the Europa League final, but you know what I think is
Mm.
maybe just maybe Unai Emery might try a few things out today so that he can use those tactics and those things in the final and make sure his team qualifies in the UEFA Champions League next season.
He might try to rest some few players. He might try to rest some players who might be playing continuous football. But trying other things, I think so. He will not go for that because he still has to qualify for the Europa League. If you look at
Mhm.
the points table, they are
Fifth,
seventh,
right,
which
sixth right now.
I guess that's seventh. They are in that Europa Conference League zone, and I don't think they would be satisfied with that Conference League. They would like to go and play in the Europa League, and sixth place is what they can even get to fifth place if Real Sociedad and I think so it's Celta Vigo.
Betis.
Betis is that Betis?
Yeah,
So the two
Betis.
teams above them, if they lose, then Villarreal can certainly go up to that fifth spot. So yeah, I guess Unai Emery will still play his full squad, and you want that you want that momentum going into the final. You are
Hmm.
playing a European final for the first time, so you need all the momentum, and even gaining a draw against Real Madrid would certainly prove what you can say give a confidence boost to them for that final. So yeah, Villarreal will also fight very hard, and again as I said earlier, paper wise, the opponent wise, Atletico Madrid are favorite, but Real Madrid can still fight and get this win against Villarreal.
Exactly. I just heard that Villarreal asked for an extra day
Mm.
off for their finals preparation. So maybe they got that extra day so that they can play their full game against Real Madrid,
Mm.
full team against Real Madrid. So yeah, maybe they can play the full team. I think they should play the full team. I'm not in favor of them
Mm.
experimenting, because if they do that and they lose the final, then they're losing out their place both in the Europa League next
Mm.
season and the Champions League as well. So I'm sure an NI Emery might experiment, might not experiment. I mean, he's going to think the same like I am thinking right now.
Mm.
So yeah, BRL again, they are not an easy opponent. They have players like Asenio, the goalkeeper is
Mm.
he's experienced and he's done a good job. And Gerard Moreno, again, he's the second highest goal scorer of this league. He's just behind Messi, and yeah, he'll take his full chances. He'll be very confident, and yeah, we cannot write them down.
But I guess Real Madrid would definitely miss Tony Cruz. He is the what you can say great. He is the main creator of that Real Madrid team, and most of the attacking things that usually come around him as well. If uh, he's passing as well as his crossing, those long balls,
Hmm.
those are very important for Real Madrid. If they want to score the goals. So yeah, the Real Madrid would definitely miss Toni Kroos. And after seeing that, someone has to really step up their game. A lot will rely on Modric to create those chances as well as Benzema, who will certainly come in the midfield. We have seen Real Madrid doing Benzema doing that against Chelsea as well as against Liverpool. He just drops a little bit into the midfield just to provide some assistance to his midfielders, and then probably he can join the attack late in, and probably
Hmm.
where the player might be marking someone else, and they might what you can say miss Benzema coming into the box, and he might get a free header or a free tap in. So yeah, these kind of strategies, once your talisman is gone, I don't think Cruz is a main talisman, you can say, but he's certainly one of a big figure going for Real Madrid team. So yeah, Real Madrid would definitely miss Tony Cruz.
Exactly. And like you mentioned, Benzema is going to be an important part of this
Mm.
team. I also expected Hazard to be fit and fine. I expected Hazard to fire up in the last game, which would help him regain confidence for the next season. But Zinedine Zidane has confirmed that Hazard might miss out today's game because he is injured again.
Mm.
So this talks a lot about Hazard this season
mm,
and last season as well. Both the seasons, he missed out a lot of games because of his injury. And when he came back, we saw opponents targeting his weak ankle, and certainly not at all. These signs aren't good, especially when Hazard. He said many times that Real Madrid is his dream team,
mm.
and he wants to do well for them. And we're looking that he has not been able to do that. It makes me sad, but yeah, it is what it is. Hazard might be up for sale next season,
Mm,
which I think I have mixed feelings because Hazard was not professional last 2 seasons,
mm,
and I have sympathy for him because he was injured and he was being targeted. His foot was being targeted. I just hope that if he gets one season, he should give all his best and prove to all his fans that yes, he's got that fire in him and he can do wonders in the next season, just like Courtois did for Madrid.
you as you said, players were targeting his weak ankle. Once you come from an ACL or a long injury, you are fearful that it might not get broken again. So that you are sitting on the sidelines again. So yeah, player you should not tend to what you can say play a little bit safe, and that might be what he that is hampering him, that he doesn't want to get injured again, so that he is on the sideline. And talking about selling him, if I don't know what kind of wages he is on right now. If he's on a big wage and you want to get someone like Mbappe or maybe Haaland into the game, we all know that Benzema, you cannot drop Benzema, you cannot drop
Hmm.
Benzema, and Hazard is the one who is taking a lot of pitch but still sitting on the pitch. So it might be a good option to just sell him and get just to free up his value. Even though they're selling for a free, which I don't think they should sell him for a free. But again, that would clear some of his wages, and you can buy a good bench player, or a good super sub with that kind of wages. So yeah, they might look to sell on if he's not going to play, and if Real Madrid are going for a youth signing like Mbappe or Haaland, then probably just sell him and buy a super sub with that money.
Exactly, like you mentioned, a few players leaving. I'll talk about Marcelo,
Mm,
who might be on sale. There are reports that he might join Inter Miami, the American team.
mm,
Apart from Marcelo, it's Ramos as well. We heard news about Ramos wanting to leave Real
mm,
Madrid, which again hurts as a Real Madrid fan. But I think Ria, he's given all his services to the team. He's 35 years old now. He might want to play at a different team,
mm,
and he should be allowed to do so if he wants to. So, a lot of Real Madrid players, especially from those who belong to the three-peat team, are
mm,
leaving, might leave after this season, and Hazard might be one of them. Of course, he wasn't the part of three-peat, but
mm,
we all hoped that he would do really well for Madrid. But sadly, that wasn't the case. He might be the one leaving. So, yeah, so many players going would earn Real Madrid a lot of money, and with that money, they might finally buy Mbappe, which has been a dream for Real Madrid fans since I think 2018 season.
mm. So yeah, again, if you are going to buy a blockbuster signing, then you should not that should what you can say not come on the expenses. What you can say, if Mbappe is playing and Benzema is playing and Hazard is dropped, that doesn't make any sense. We have paid Hazard so much money and you are going to just
Hmm.
let him sit on the bench. That does not look good, and that for me is kind of a waste of money. So yeah, why not buy a super sub with that money? And if you talk about Ramos, I definitely think that if he wants to leave, he might go. We all saw last season Thiago Silva left PSG. Well, it was a different case, but yeah,
Hmm.
Ramos, if Ramos wants to win, if Ramos wants to go away, fight, take on a new challenge, probably he would go to a team which can afford their wages, but will certainly not play him regularly because as you said, he's 35 years old. He
Yeah.
might not probably want to play every week,
I
and
just
every
read
week.
news that Ramos is linked with Manchester United, so he might go there. That's where he's interested as well.
Okay, he can join Manchester United. Manchester United have a good young bunch of. They have Maguire, they have Lindelof, they have Eric Bailly. So probably he might not play every week over there, but it's fine.
But he
You
can
can.
play that leader role so that he can make sure the other players are doing well. And
Um,
when he's needed, he can play and he can do the leading job as well for the team.
the problem with
Leader as a defender.
the problem with current Man United team is there are a lot of leaders over there. If you see, there's Captain Maguire, then there's Bruno, who currently there's Pogba. So you can drop Pogba from that
Of
discussion.
course, Ramos has experience which
Mm,
the other players don't. Ramos has winning experience,
mm.
UCL winner.
But
La Liga title winner.
certainly, he would be a very, what you can say, key figure in organizing the defense. Giving instructions to his fullback or maybe centre back or someone. And we all saw how he controls that Real Madrid defense. If someone is out of position, he
Hmm.
tries off shouts and pulls him back into the position, or and give instruction, when to push forward, when to fall back, when to
Hmm.
tackle an attacker. So yeah, he might be that kind of figure. But yeah, I guess, and if we go somewhere else as well, Real Madrid currently has, other than Mendy, other than Militao and Varane, who are Real Madrid centre backs right now. So I cannot, who can play in
See,
the.
actually, even Varane might leave
Mm,
after this season. So
yeah,
the
Varane.
fact that you mentioned
Mm,
Varane, it's difficult. But yeah, Real Madrid has been playing Nacho ever since
mm.
any of the defenders is missing. So yeah, Nacho might be a regular starter from next season.
So yeah, so Ramos has to play week in and week out, which might be tiring for him given his age. So yeah, that could probably the reason
That
why
might be the reason, correct? They
he
have
might
a
want
few
to leave.
youngsters,
Mm, mm,
a few promising youngsters, but I think they need time to develop. They
mm.
should just get a few minutes every now and then, but I don't think they should start week in and week out because that would hamper the Real Madrid defense when they're playing key games against, say, Atletico Madrid
Mm.
or Barcelona or any other strong team like Betis or Sociedad.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ramos, if Real Madrid had a way to rest Ramos against, you can say, Real Betis or Getafe or Granada, against small teams.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that if that was a situation, or that was a possible situation, then Ramos could have probably stayed at Real Madrid. But anything can happen. We all know how loyal he is to Real Madrid. He has given his all to this club, and probably we can probably they are in the talks of maybe he wants some salary increase, or maybe he wants some game off, or just wants to add 10 or 15. Just wants to play 15 or 20 games in the contract. So we'll see. There's an month, 2 months worth of negotiation which is
Yeah.
still remaining before he can join another club. So yeah, anything can happen. He might stay, he might leave, but it's his decision basically after all.
Exactly. And you have Europa League in between,
Mm,
so that might give Real Madrid a chance to think about
mm,
what Ramos' future, what they have in mind for Ramos' future, and
mm.
they will also watch players closely in the UEFA Europa League, that is
UEFA Euro 2020.
Euro League, correct? UEFA
UEFA
Euro
Euro.
League, and
Mm,
they might sign a few players from
mm.
that as well. So yeah, coming back to today's game, what do you think is going to who are going to be the key players for you?
For Real Madrid again, whoever plays, I think so. Fede Valverde should play. He has really shown, and he should really show that tenacity. He should really show that aggression in moving forward.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyone who replaces Toni Kroos would be a key player to watch out for, and what kind of
Exactly, it's going to
what.
be Valverde.
Mm,
Maybe
and
Real Madrid will play Valverde, Modric, and Casemiro as
mm,
their three midfielders, and Isco might get a few minutes, considering that it's probably his last game, and they want to give him a farewell. If that
mm.
happens, then Isco plays a few minutes. Asensio might be leaving after the
Mm.
season as well, so he might get a few minutes. And yeah, other than that, I think the lineup should be the same.
So yeah, again, as I said, Benzema would be a key, and for what I'm interested to see what kind of instruction Zidane will give to Fede Valverde, because whatever he will do on the pitch, that will decide whether Real Madrid is seriously attacking or not. Because Real
Hmm.
Madrid they don't have, what you can say, they don't have that kind of pace, to go forward, up and up and would come go forward, come back, go forward, come back, go forward, come back. So certainly, they need men forward, and they certainly need to win this game. Losing is not an option, even drawing is not an option. So yeah, I think Zidane would probably tell Federico Valverde to move forward, and not to play the role that Toni Kroos does.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm.
So yeah, Valverde and probably Benzema and your regular Modric and all, probably players to watch out for.
Exactly, these might be the key players. But you know what has been the problem,
Mm,
as far as I'm concerned?
mm,
See, Benzema has scored about 22 goals, and Vinicius Junior, Asensio, all these guys have scored only 3 goals, 5 goals,
mm,
and such. So only Benzema is someone who has scored double-digit number of goals in this
mm.
La Liga season. So scoring goals has been a problem, and if Benzema is not in form, or if Benzema has a bad day, then that might create a lot of problems because they don't have a lot of goal scoring
Mm.
options. We know Vinicius has a lot of potential, but when he gets the ball near the goal, he
Mm.
messes things up, and that isn't helping Real Madrid at all.
See, when you make a team, when you try to make a team, you should have one talismanic figure, that is Benzema. But other than that, you should not expect anyone to score. If Benzema is scoring 20 goals, you cannot. I mean, basically, you can expect, but you don't probably over expect them to score 20 goals as well. So
Hmm.
if there's a one talismanic figure, who scores 20-25 goals a season, and there are supporters around him, who can probably chip in 10 goals or 12 goals in a season, then it's probably okay. And Vinicius Junior is currently getting in. He's still a young player and he has room to grow for. So yeah, I think so. Vinicius Junior will definitely grow into a bigger player, and probably this season we have seen what he can do, what kind of destructive, what kind, and we have seen against Liverpool when he scored that goal.
Two
He took the
goals.
ball. As for first, second goal was a little bit easier, but the first one, the technique that he showed,
Hmm.
taking the ball down and just slotting it, one on one against Alisson, probably one of the good goalkeepers of the season. So this shows that he's growing a little bit, and probably he's probably working in the training grounds, to convert those chances. So yeah, everything will come into this place right now, but certainly they still have work to do, but everything will come into place, in near future time.
Exactly, and so important games for all the teams today,
Mm.
especially Valladolid, who might be
Mm.
aiming those 150K dollars, of course. And
Mm.
I really hope football wins today, because we
Mm.
want to see teams that deserve to win actually going on to win. And I hope to see competition,
Mm.
great football matches.
So as a Real Madrid fan, I would like to ask you, what is your prediction?
Maybe I'll go with Real Madrid winning the game
Mm.
with one goal difference only. It might be
Mm.
1 nil or 2-1.
Mm.
I don't see more than two goals being scored in today's game. I honestly don't think Real Madrid will score more than two.
So I'm going with Atletico 2-0 winning against Valladolid, and probably 1-1 draw against Real Madrid will play 1-1 draw against Villarreal.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what we have for you in this video.
Mm.
But again, like to add one
Mm.
last thing,
Okay.
that is that if Valladolid ends up winning and
Mm.
Elche and the other team they lose a few games,
Mm.
Valladolid won't only save themselves from relegation, they will also help Real Madrid win the league if Real
Mm.
Madrid wins, of course, and their players will earn a lot of money as well.
and
So
and
so
probably Valorant will get that extra money for next season, to buy transfer as well, considering
exactly.
don't know.
So there's no room for excuses, and
Mm.
there's no excuse for, like I said, no excuses, and
Mm.
motivation is also there. A lot of motivation is there.
So yeah, again, and with R9 being the investor of Real Valorant, you can say that he might put in some extra money, extra 5 or 10 cheeky 5 or 10 million for next season as well. Yeah, there's plenty of motivation for them.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see you
Mm.
tomorrow. In the next video, we'll discuss today's games, and we'll talk about Premier League and the other leagues.
So
We'll
yeah,
see you. Peace out.
peace out.